Hey everybody, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Josh.
With PDQ.com. It's this week was Patch Tuesday, which means we do PDQ and A.
Let's do it. I'm excited for it.
Just real quick, just for Patch Tuesday, since we did cover that one, this month was really bad. We had a bunch of quiet months leading up into April. April, there was 2 that can be considered 0 days. One of them, if you have NFS enabled, there's no user interaction. There's no credentials needed, no authentication. They can just take control.
That's neat.
And there's the same thing for SMB, basically. But so if 445 is blocked on your enterprise port, it can only be attacked from internally. It uses 445, which I assume... You know what I read about it? I didn't even check. I didn't even check with Austin. I just assumed. Yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, why are you watching this show? Go patch your systems. Yeah. No, wait like half an hour.
Wait half an hour.
Watch this.
Yeah, patches
it'll be good. It'll be fun.
One that was already actively exploited, and one that is known that hasn't been exploited yet. So this is a good week to patch as soon as possible. Test quickly.
It sure sounds like it.
All right. So before we start, who do I have to put on the board? Who's participating in this? So because I'm going to keep score.
Obviously, Jordan, Josh, Kirk. We're going to put Glenn on the board. We have Glenn with us remotely to field any SmartDeploy questions that might come up. So, Glenn, I failed to mention to you, this is a fierce competition, by the way. Everyone gains points for it. It's not really that fierce, but we'll give you points when you answer questions.
The points don't matter, but they kind of do.
They kind of do. They do. And I think you're still mute. I can't hear you. Say something there for me, Glenn.
Test.
Oh, there we go. All right, now.
Oh, perfect. I didn't see my video on the screen. I wasn't sure if I was muted within the meeting or not. So anyway, happy to be here.
All right.
I'm also going to throw audience participation.
Yep.
They are going to get some points, I assume, because they have in the last several shows.
Well, we have an official trophy now.
We always do.
Yeah, we do. And the audience actually could pull off a win. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, if you yield to them, they'll answer all these questions. They're good about that.
All right. And if you have questions, post them in the chat. Just kind of preface them with the word question. It helps us find them. So, all right. Are we ready?
Shall we begin?
Get started.
Let's do it.
Let's do this thing. Gentlemen, I would very much like to see a way to override the results from PDQ Deploy to change a failure to success or vice versa. Sometimes there's an incorrect result or something that is more easily fixed manually, and it would be helpful to track what is or isn't done. Sincerely, Simon C.
All right. So as far as the data you're getting, you can capture some things. If we can share the screen real quick, we can show some of our options.
All right.
So in this one down here, I just have PowerShell step. I chose PowerShell because that's my obsession. You can is there for any of the steps. You can success codes. So whatever it's returning there, if it's a certain integer you're looking for, you can put that number in there to separate by a comma. And that one, you look for particular codes where no matter what happens, it'll count that success.
Yep.
The other one is in the options. You have the error mode where you can have just no matter what, continue or stop deployment with success. But as far as override the results that come in, unless it's a PowerShell step where you can manually input an exit code, I don't know of a way within our product to...
Yeah, I've seen a handful of things in support where a installer may be successful, but it returns a exit code of like 12. But it actually did what you wanted, so you can just pop that 12 into the success codes there. Where you can see what those return codes are coming in is from a command prompt, right? If you take the command that deploy is running, and then you just echo the exit code after it's done, you can return that.
Yeah, so it's not an ideal way to override, but it's a way you can capture and adjust based on what's coming back.
Exactly.
I'm going to give that point to Josh.
Whoa.
because of the Jordan, you said I don't know, and then you yielded over to Josh, and Josh gave the exit code solution. Am I wrong here?
No, I gave exit code and then another alternative, and then said outside of that. I don't know.
But he said I don't know, and I was more confident.
You did say I don't know. Yeah, Josh had the confidence, and
I could be confidently incorrect though.
This whole system's rigged.
You're right, because I've used this one before. I know you're correct on this one.
All right.
Do you both want points?
Give them both points or take points away. They're both even that way.
I can give you both points.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. Next question. Is it possible to build a PDQ inventory report to show a Windows user login, logout activity on a specific window host for a specific time frame? Sincerely, Richard C.
So I think we have a PowerShell scanner already built that's pretty close to this. If you're not using any of the PowerShell scanners, if you just come to GitHub, there's a PowerShell scanners one, and there's one called user last logged on.
Okay.
And if you run that one, it's not capturing within a specific time frame. It's just grabbing the last login. So if we come to Tweety and open that up, you can see Vincent logged in. It's almost like I logged in, just to show an example right before I started. And then Quintana was back on the 6th. So you can see the last login. You could probably modify that script that's in there to say if you want to specify a time frame. One thing you want to look out for is logging varies. So either it keeps a certain time frame or a certain number of events. So if you're looking too far back, you just might not have those logs anymore.
That's configured in group policy, right? And I think it's called out on the top of that script.
Let's go take a look what he has there. Yeah, auto log on events are enabled in group policy.
Yeah.
And then, so just the instant ID is 4624 is the log on, and then 2 and 10 is whether it was remote or local.
Oh, okay.
So if you go into the GitHub and you look at the scanner for user logged on, it's going to give you, if you're looking to change the time frame to just whatever was last, this will give you a great starting point to modify that.
Nice.
I'm giving the points to Josh.
That's
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say I didn't say anything, but I'll take it.
I know.
All right, next question. How do you correct the Keberos, the target account name is incorrect when you don't have control or access to the DNS server? When this started getting the specified network name is no longer available, and scanner failed with error code 255. Very frustrating, as it takes 5 to 7 scans to complete and read all records. Thanks in advance, Joseph.
Ooh, Joseph, thank you for putting this one in advance. I actually posed a chunk of this question to the support team kind of for some more ammo. The Keberos account name, what that is pointing at is incorrectly configured SPNs. So it is DNS. And the too long didn't read version from support was either 1, make really good friends with your DNS administrator. 2, really make your DNS administrator mad by setting up your own bind server and pointing everything to that. Or really, really make your DNS and network admins mad by just quickly statically assigning all your endpoints. Really what it comes down to is you have to fix it in DNS. It's a Windows authentication, and Keberos requires correct SPNs. So there's not really a way to work around that one. The network path is no longer available. Also, that's going to be network level. So really, you should go make friends with your network person. And then the scanner failed with exit code 255. So that one, in my experience, has been very, very generic. That one, you want to grab the actual scanner logs from the target machine in the event viewer. If you filter for PDQ inventory and .NET events, you're probably going to get more information on that target machine than you're going to get from what's returned back to the console, because that can be caused by all kinds of stuff. I hope that helps. I'm sorry.
We forgot to put the support team on as a contestant.
Hey, they're fine.
That's okay.
Josh is
I'm going to
support.
I'm going to give the points to DNS.
Yeah, DNS one's there.
It's always DNS.
You've been bested.
All right, here we go.
Guys, can a scanner be used in multiple scan profiles? Thanks, Tyler F.
So the default scanners, so if we go to the scan profiles, just to build the new one real quick, the default ones like the Active Directory applications, computer details, those all can be reused. But if you're looking for a PowerShell specific one, and I was looking for a way around this, is just if it is its own PS1 file, you can just copy it in there, but you have to rebuild it for every scanner profile. You can use the same PowerShell script that's in there, but you have to re-add the scanner for it.
I wonder if that's just based on database schema, would be my guess.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I had assumed that it was possible before I dove in, so I was surprised. So the default scans, yes. If you're using a custom scan, you have to rebuild it for each one of those.
Gotcha.
All right. Moving along. Hey guys, how do we keep PDQ inventory list of computer objects from AD fresh? We don't import disabled objects from AD. Sincerely, K and K.
KK slider.
Man, Jordan, you're already on there into preferences and Active Directory, isn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, I need to not be in deploy, though.
Yeah, you do.
There we go. So preferences. So if we go to Active Directory, you have this auto-sync enabled. If this is set to full sync, if the machine is pulled out of the OU you're looking at, it will delete it out of inventory. If a new one shows up, it will. So you just want auto-sync enabled, whatever time frame you think is best. We have it by default an hour, it looks like. But if that's set to full sync, it will remove old ones. It will add new ones as it comes into Active Directory. If it's mixed, it will add, but it will not delete the old ones.
Yep. One of my favorite things that I like to call out always is the contextual help is really good in deploying inventory. So that blue question mark over to the far right, that'll take you right to the definition for that setting you're looking at. So quick call out there.
A great underused feature.
Absolutely.
In products.
So if we're looking at mixed wrong, it won't delete manually added devices, but it will delete ones in AD.
Yeah, so maybe if you have like, you're keeping like printers or Linux boxes in there, something like that.
I use the question mark. I guess you get the point if I'm using it live.
I'm giving you both the point.
Give them both points. And you mentioned underused features. A couple quick things. We are still taking your tips and tricks in the little form because we want to feature those next week on our webcast. So if you got things that you think, hey, I use this, it'd be helpful for everyone else, put that in there. Also, quick reminder, if you have SmartDeploy questions, we have Glenn standing by, and he's ready for you as well. All right. Moving right
Not going to get any points at this rate.
I know, Glenn.
You were getting destroyed.
Poor guy.
All right.
Glenn needs to start learning deploying inventory.
Or we start, yeah, we'll learn each other's stuff here.
We'll trade.
Guys, any plans to put users into roles and permissions on PDQ server? We would buy more licenses and let more help desk staff run deployments. We just don't trust them enough, though. Sincerely, Win Rocco.
So I think this might be, outside of Agent, the most requested feature for the product.
Yep.
And I don't have insight into the roadmap for that to give a better answer. I'm sorry.
I don't either, but I've got a workaround for you.
Okay.
Workaround might work. So even though there's no role-based access controls, the way that deploy inventory licensing work, you can spin up multiple servers. Based on number of admins, you can have a couple different servers. So what a workaround is you may specify a server that has an account as the deploy and scan user that can only touch certain workstations. It's a local administrator only on this OU that's maybe just end user computers, and you keep your help desk away from servers. And then your console users, you let help desk into just the help desk only deploy inventory, and then for everyone else, they can be in the help desk one and your server one. So you can split stuff up, more physically than logically with RBAC. It's not ideal, but it's a pretty good workaround.
I have a workaround for that one, this particular question as well. Hire more trustworthy people.
That one too.
Yeah. Do I get the point? No.
Sure.
I'll put you on the board.
Yes. All right. Next question. Any plans to put users into roles that we just did? Let's move right along. There is a PowerShell script from Dell to remove whatever that is, support assist. It works fine running it locally, but it does not seem to work using deploy. Complete successfully, but doesn't work. Thoughts? Michael S.
So I'm not familiar with support assist to test it. There is, if you run it as deploy, local system, if it is a system thing, or if it's something that is a user-based install, like when a new account, it installs it there, you might need to run it as logged on user when the user is logged in to remove it.
Sure.
But I don't know enough about support assist or the PowerShell script to weigh in past hypotheticals.
Yeah, the only call out I have to this is not necessarily specific to the script, but when things are returning, like a script in deploy runs and returns successful, specifically for PowerShell, it's whether the script executed or not. Not that it actually did the thing you were having it do. right? Unless you're writing your own exit codes that validate, hey, I made this change, I did X, Y, Z. It's just going to say, yep, the script ran, not that it actually performed the actions.
Yeah. I did see this come into the chat, and he mentioned he tried local system, which that point, last thing I could think of is logged on user, where someone is logged on, if it is a user-based one. We can see that with like Apex packages.
Yep.
So if it's something like that, where when they log in, that's when it installs that product, that might work, but I mean, that's all.
Yeah, it might be.
But Josh,
oh, go ahead.
are you suggesting that it may actually be working properly, but you're not sending the correct exit code in the end for it to pass the success condition?
No, I'm suggesting that the script executed, meaning that Windows ran the PowerShell, but that's it. For these types of situations, I'd suggest logging into a target machine as the deploy user, running that PowerShell script, and see what happens. See if anything comes up on the screen, what is going on there. Sometimes even just moving to deploy user interactive can account for some fun things like just prompts coming up that you don't actually need to click. They're just splash screens.
We see that sometimes with Autodesk where it has to be interactive.
Yes, and Office, they're both kind of notorious for that, where they don't need input. They are silent, but they are going to show something on the screen. So it does need that like GUI session active.
This is the phone a friend desk with Kirk. There is a Stack Overflow solution that indicates they solved it with PowerShell. I can throw the link in chat if people want. It's unconfirmed, but it is a common question. And the last post in July 2021 claims to have solved it with his script that he shares.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Shall we continue?
Let's keep
going.
Hey guys, there's an AutoSort option for the deployment packages tree. Is there a way to sort all the collections in inventory? Sincerely, Brad B.
So inventory doesn't have an auto sort. I think it's just because a lot of the collections that are in there, where deploy you can do within folders and everything, and it will only sort within the folder. There's no folders in that. It's just all within subtrees.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there is an auto sort for that one. I don't know a way around that.
There is an auto sort.
There is.
It's you.
Yeah.
Move them around.
That's no longer auto.
It's also if you get into drill down collections, hierarchy matters. So if you start to move those collections around like alphabetically and you're using drill down features, all of a sudden you're going to break all of your collections.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they're based on the parent.
They are. They're based on the parent, must be true, and must stand on its own to then filter the next. You can also just create a collection that's blank, right? And that's just the name, and then use that as a folder type. Put all of your other collections under it. So it might be like workstations, and then you put all of your scanners for workstations or that, and it's a blank collection that returns all computers.
He says he's referring to
clever.
just the parent collection name? Or why can't we have folders? There, yeah, okay.
Collections are just fancy folders.
Collections are just fancy folders at the end of it. They function the exact same way. So if you create a new collection,
Here you go. I'm just going to make it a header.
there you go, make it a header.
Now it's a folder.
Changes appearance, and all of a sudden now it's a folder.
That's not, I mean, in the loosest terms. So I see
You
in the
can probably make it a folder icon as well.
You sure can. Well, I don't know if you can make it a folder icon, but you can make it.
No, maybe not. I don't know if that
Different.
exists. I might be.
Let's find
too
out.
soon.
You got a clipboard.
Hey, there's a folder, with, a clipboard.
clipboard. There
So
we go.
you get 2 tools for the price of one. 2 office supplies, that is.
And I see in the chat from Michael about the Dell, it does have a splash screen, which means try the deploy user interactive.
Yep.
And see if that one works. And I mean, hopefully that does it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Real quick, Vanille Stang wants to know who Josh mains in Smash Bros. And why that character is garbage.
Putting that up as a question, actually.
I figured we just hit it real
Stealing
quick.
my thunder.
You encourage
Just
all
take it
style,
now. Take
keep
it now.
going.
I know you can't feed the trolls, guys.
Well-
but it is Bowser. I do main Bowser.
Shouldn't he be hand delivering packets right now?
I know. But yeah, I've also started to play Jigglypuff, which is really fun.
Just sing people to sleep.
Yeah.
You're
I
playing
don't even know
Jigglypuff?
what that
really?
is.
It's fun.
Okay.
It is fun.
Nice.
By the way, I'm not giving points for that one at all to anyone. Sorry.
Is
All
it
right.
because of my answer or is it because of the question?
No. It's a great answer.
Okay.
Bowser's
Bowser
great,
and Jigglypuff.
but and Jigglypuff, I'm sure is fine. But
Yeah.
let's keep this product related.
All right.
Products
Vanilge.
related, by the way. if you have anything for SmartDeploy,
Yes.
Gosh, Glenn would
We
love to
gotta
hear
get Glenn on the
your
board.
questions.
We're going to get Glenn on the board somehow.
He needs a win, or at least a
I
point.
play as young Link, if anyone's curious.
Yes.
Glenn, what's your favorite color?
What is my favorite color? Usually navy blue or something boring like that.
There you go.
That point,
Give him a
he's
point.
on the board.
Excellent.
I'm going to give a provisional point.
Nice.
If he doesn't get anything, we'll give him one. But I'd really like I would love to hear a SmartDeploy question.
Yeah.
Me too.
Someone drank all my alcohol.
Someone drank all your
Wonder who.
alcohol.
All right, guys, let's continue on.
All right, gentlemen, has anyone found a reliable way to run updates for Dell Command Update remotely, especially for BIOS updates? I found a way through command line, but nowhere near reliable to say it works. Thanks, Thomas, the Tank Engine.
I've never been a Dell shop, but I've helped a handful of customers through the years with DCUI CLI in support. And unfortunately, the only way I've gotten it to work reliably is to wrap it in PowerShell with a lot of, check to make sure this exists. If this exists, run this command. If this status equals true, run this command. But just by itself, it works, kind of like you described, 60% of the time.
That's reliably a Dell thing is like, well, sometimes if you do this, I was trying to build a inventory scanner based on deploy, and you have to go and register yourself as a company and then manually add or import all of your devices that way. It was a whole process to get very limited data.
Yeah.
Josh, do you have that wrapper script that we could make publicly available?
Oh, I'd have to dig for it. It was pretty user specific.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was basically querying, what's on the machine, what version is on the machine, and then running a command based on what they were exactly trying to do. I think Timothy just said there is a very specific sequence, and that was true. That you do have to run those commands.
We could make a blog post about this and kind of make this a bigger project.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun.
That's my suggestion.
There are some there. I think Lenovo also has a similar utility. HP has their FTP site from hell that you can crawl.
Straight from the 90s.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Let's do this. We're teeing one up for Glenn. What is smart? I didn't do this. This came in. What is a SmartDeploy, and will it help me get rid of my love handles? Sincerely, Zach F.
You didn't, but someone that works here.
Someone may have.
We have a few in-office trolls in here.
All right, go ahead, Glenn.
It's not impossible that it might help you get rid of your love handles. It really depends on the size of your deployment workbench. SmartDeploy integrates seamlessly with Windows deployment services, so you could set up multicasting. You could have a bench with 50 or 100 machines on it, and you're running from one to the next, hitting F12 on each one. You can have fully unattended deployments, or if you're doing anything fancy, you want to be able to enter a specific asset tag per machine. You can do attended deployments or partially attended deployments where you're just punching in, that one specific computer name each time. So you could maybe end up with a couple of laps through there. If you've got somebody swapping machines in and out as you go, then that could be a pretty solid workout. So
I think that's a 2-pointer. Right?
That
That's
is.
a 2-point answer.
Well, I don't know. See, because I see SmartDeploy as adding to my love handles.
Because making life easier and less work for you.
Yeah, I don't have to walk around
No
and
sneaking
do
at.
anything.
You should actually deduct me half a point because I didn't actually say what SmartDeploy does. SmartDeploy is a Windows operating system deployment tool. It allows you to create a customized Windows image on a virtual machine that you can deploy out across any models across your organization, as long as you have the right platform pack for it. A platform pack is for a specific make and model of device as well as a specific OS. We support Windows 10, Windows 11, any currently supported version of Windows Server or Windows Client we can deploy for you.
It's fantastic.
Way to sell it.
It is
That's
officially a PDQ product now, too.
Yeah.
Man.
great. Yeah.
Is indeed.
I think he
Thanks for
drained that.
priming the pump there, Zach.
Yeah, but I think he drained it from the 3-point line. Just boom,
Yeah.
nothing but net.
Really nice.
Still,
Awesome.
if we're going by honest rules, 1 point.
Well,
No one ever wrote the rules down.
Or a million, I don't care. Whatever.
Well, there
Really
you go.
nice, really nice.
On the board. On the board.
Thanks, Glenn.
Fantastic.
Next question.
Next question. After a deployment, is there a way to move the machine into a specific collection? Thank you, Daniel M.
There's a couple ways you can do that. Either in the deployment, you can add a step at the end that's scan after deployment, and you can have a collection say you're looking at that software, a certain version, it will automatically move it in there. Or you can have something where it puts a file somewhere in the thing, scan for that, and then the collection is basically, if it has this file, then go there. So there's a couple of options. It just requires some work on the deployment package to put something in there for inventory to find.
Yeah, do you want to show that in Deploy? This is probably my favorite feature of PDQ Deploy.
We're going to go to install printers.
Yeah, and so if you do a scan step, right, that's my favorite, one of my favorite features, because with this and then setting the specific scan profile, what you can set yourself up for is like a if this then that type deployment scenario, right? Scan for this, and then on the next step is a condition, and it's only if it meets that scan profile standard. So you can end up with this pretty complex logic tree all throughout a single deployment.
Yeah. So this one, in the case we're doing a scan, we're assuming we're installing applications, even though it's a printer install.
Yeah.
So the next one down there, you'd want to put in a condition, basically saying if that file is there after the scan, or
Exactly.
in there. So you can put some logic in there where it automatically moved. You just need to scan the device in the middle of the deployment to get the collection update.
Exactly. Yeah, this is one of those fun, like color outside the lines type scenarios you can get into.
All right.
Hey, Kelly,
Yes, sir.
how many questions do we have left, and should we
Left.
do a speed round?
That's what I was about to mention. We have in the queue
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions left.
Okay.
So
All right.
I think it's time for a speed round.
And it is.
Let's go.
Okay, so speed round for Glenn. We see if we can get the answer within 60 seconds, which almost never happens, but we're going to try anyway.
That was the first time without Lex, so
We're under 60 seconds when you say I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
All right.
that's true.
Let's do it.
There's an
All right.
answer.
Here we go, speed round. Gentlemen, is it possible to create roles for access? Would like a help desk role that restricts access to servers? Thanks, Kevin S.
This one's similar to the question we took earlier, where it's requested often. I actually saw a +1 the first time we said it. We just don't know the timeline for it.
Yep.
I should also mention SmartDeploy is working on this as well. We've added the capability for user-based or role-based user features within the website, and that is creating the capability of us to add role-based features within the product as well. So it's on our roadmap.
All right.
Man, I think we got that under 60.
I think we
We
did.
did it.
Okay,
we
next
did.
one.
Guys, in your preference, how do you perfectly blend PDQ and SmartDeploy products in an enterprise? Sincerely, V, which really stands for Vanilj.
Yeah. My preferred way to do this is let SmartDeploy handle all of the imaging, and as the last step of the image, call deploy to install a baseline, an application baseline, and then just use deploy and inventory to manage it from that point forward.
Yeah, you could even get pretty granular based on the name of the machine. You could figure out what role, like if it's going to accounting, and you can have different deployments or nested deployments where you can get all the software installed.
So you can have a customized image that calls a customized, baseline pack. And so you can be shipping machines out to users or replacing machines with exactly what they need at a rapid fire.
Yeah, and SmartDeploy also supports deploying the operating system via the cloud. So if you have machines for home users, you could deploy them out from an image that is stored in your cloud storage account, and then you can connect it up with PDQ Deploy and Inventory from there. So.
Nice.
Excellent.
Doing pretty good so far.
Points all around.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, is there a possibility for staggered deployments? We have some remote sites with low bandwidth, and when pushing larger packages, we'd prefer to have it deploy over a period of time. Thanks, Smuggy Bear.
So usually, like if you're trying to limit the machines, you'd have to have multiple schedules for that one, and then just have the schedule staggered.
Yep.
If you're looking for a time frame issue, then you can just set the schedule to say only kick off after 5 p.m. Here you go.
Well, let's see. I don't remember exactly all the settings. I got to click around for a second.
This is Ricky.
I have an answer for this from the SmartDeploy standpoint as well. While y'all are looking that up,
Let's do it.
so SmartDeploy also supports scheduled deployments, so you can set them to happen after hours, as well as if you're thinking of re-imaging machines at those remote sites. SmartDeploy has a feature called differencing WIMs, where basically if you're creating your image at a centralized location, you're maintaining your reference machine at your corporate office, you capture a WIM file of that image. It might be 5 or 8 gigs. You don't want to have to send that out to each one of those low bandwidth sites every single time you update the image. So what you can do instead is capturing a differencing WIM, which is it creates a parent-child relationship between that differencing WIM and the original WIM that was captured from that same machine. It only contains those files that have changed since that previous version of it. So the remote site already has your previous WIM. You just send them that much smaller differencing WIM, and they are ready to deploy the latest version of your image.
Fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant. And for deploying inventory, the way you want to do that is like Jordan said, multiple. We can show the screen if you want. Multiple schedules, and then the way that this relationship works is concurrent targets per deployment, and then total concurrent. So if I have a site that I only want to have 8 machines at a time, 4 machines at a time, but then I could have my other sites taking up the total concurrent slots. So you can kind of break up your targeting that way for low bandwidth sites.
Nice.
Kelly, I think it's okay that we went 2 minutes on that, just
Absolutely.
60 seconds per product.
Yeah,
we'll call that a speed round win.
Yeah, definitely. That's team play right there. That's what that is.
There it is.
I just made a rookie mistake of giving up the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, now
That's how you give away points.
You did. It's all Josh's points from now on, man.
Here we go.
All right, next question. Hi, do you guys have an official training on your product and give a certification upon completion? Thank you. It is my country. Sovereign nation, apparently.
So we don't have a official training. Our YouTube channel does have a series of videos on how to use the majority of the features. Unfortunately, no certificate that I know of.
Well,
I think the reason that we haven't done this is we felt that the product is so simple and intuitive. We didn't know that it didn't really feel that there would be a need for a certification, but that could change. I don't know.
I'll post my Bitcoin wallet in the address, and you can send me some Bitcoin, and I'll send you a certificate.
Some Bitcoin, multiple Bitcoins.
Some. I'm not going to specify how
It
much.
could be a certificate too that covers every product under the PDQ umbrella.
Yeah.
So if you,
it is a good idea, and we'll definitely consider it for sure.
Yeah, you can't put watch some YouTube.
It
videos
would
on
be
Disney.
something
That is
fun.
true.
That is very true.
It'd be something fun to put on their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
all right.
Next question. Any plans to add the ability or option for syncing Active Directory user details? Tim M.
So our products have been pretty heavily towards machine, not user. I don't think we can have any. You probably could do like a inventory scanner, but even that you're going to be scanning against your Active Directory server, not the machine itself, and then pulling the data back. So I don't see any plans to build it out for users specifically.
Yeah, I'd be curious kind of the use case on that one, to maybe a follow-up later.
Okay.
That was quick. Hang on one second. There we go. Here we go. Regarding your workaround for permissions, how many PDQ instances can I have under my enterprise license? Brad B.
All of them.
Yeah, Brad, you should. There is a few licensing situations in which you could get in a sticky situation here. So this one might be best to reach out to us for your specific license. But for most cases, it's licensed per admin. So as many as you want.
Yeah, if you have 3 admins that are logging into 9 different servers, it's still just the 3 licenses.
Yep.
Nice. This may be our most successful speed round ever. All right.
They're rocking it. Hey guys, will a PDQ agent on the local PC fix the DNS issues, and when would that be available? Sincerely, Robin.
So the new product that has agent capability is in beta, I believe, and you can sign for that. Now I don't know how close it is to moving out of beta. And as far as the inner workings, I don't have. I wouldn't imagine the DNS is going to be the same issue where the machine itself is checking in through the agent, but
Should mitigate those issues. Yep.
Well, time
But
to
I
drink.
have something to say. When I hear the DNS issues, to me that sounds like, will the new product solve world peace? Such a
We scoped
generalist.
this down a little bit.
Just will this solve like any DNS issue?
I am curious. When I built the aggressive scavenging script, if anyone actually used it, because that did some serious scavenging.
Let's run it in prod after this, see what happens.
It was aggressive.
All right. Gentlemen, we would want to use SmartDeploy for remote setup of new computers. Can it join the computers to our domain, and how does the licensing work for it? Thanks, Dominic R.
So SmartDeploy is licensed per deployed endpoint. So anytime you reimage a machine, or if you are using the SmartDeploy client to manage it and you do certain other actions from the console, like pushing out an application or backing up user data, any sort of activity with the client, that would consume a license as well. You can do as many activities on a single machine as you wish. It will only consume a single license for that machine. You can reimage it over and over again. As for joining the domain, it is something that we support automatically through the product, but it's the standard, it's the sort of domain join that occurs offline during Windows sysprep and specialized. So for remote sites, the question there is going to be, do you have some sort of connectivity with your domain controller? If we're talking about an on-prem Active Directory domain, if we're talking about a remote office site where you might have a VPN connection that is hardwired at the office network level to your corporate office, then yes, maybe you could handle remote domain join that way. If you're talking about an employee's home, the answer is probably not. You would need to configure the VPN on that machine and then join it to the domain manually. Or the SmartDeploy client actually offers the capability to join a machine to the domain. So if you've got a user that has limited IT skills, you would basically just give them a procedure for logging into the machine and connecting to VPN. And once they've done that and the SmartDeploy client is phoning at home, you could then tell the device to join itself to the domain, and they could proceed from there. The last answer to that would be the Azure AD domain join option, which we do have baked in as well. So if you're using an Azure AD domain, it's pretty straightforward. It basically just prompts the user to sign in with their Azure AD domain join or with their Azure AD creds, and it'll join itself to the domain at that point, assuming you've set that user up for that capability.
Slam dunk.
I was going to say, boom. Look at that.
There it is.
No question. He gets the point.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't get the point?
No.
I looked very pretty while he was
I
answering.
did. I looked at the camera and everything.
That point is mine.
And he was full screen the whole time, so no one saw you.
Oh.
And our final question, not a question, just a SmartDeploy and PDQ customer, and very happy with both, and I'm super excited to see how they work together. Thank you very much, Smuggy Bear.
Aw.
I will say, as someone that hasn't have to be involved in joining our domains, and I just get to meet the people, it has been awesome. Everyone over there is great, so it's been awesome for me.
Fantastic.
No stress. How about you?
We're good.
We're a chill bunch. It's true.
We're good.
One last plug before we end today. We are planning a webcast next week where we want to feature your favorite tips and tricks with PDQ Deploy and PDQ Inventory. I'm going to paste a link in the chat to the form. You can submit those, but get those in because we're sure that you've done some amazing things with the products, and we would love to be able to share those and just share the love basically with the community.
Absolutely.
So, there you go.
And if you're watching now, between now or if you're watching after the fact, after we've gone live, we will put this link in the description.
Yep.
And it'll be there for the next week.
Yep.
That was fantastic timing.
It was. He's got construction going on.
Exactly. I'm sorry. If you want me to get the point totals, I can.
Oh, yes,
you just have to have a saw in the background.
Oh, I'd love. We
right.
have to have the point totals.
Okay. That with construction going on, we'll start with the low numbers. Sorry, Kelly.
Oh.
1. Yeah.
I got
Kirk,
1 though.
1. Glenn with 5.
Nice.
Yes.
Jordan with 8. And Josh with 10. Jordan, you should not have given the controls over.
The keyboard. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake.
That was all you.
He blew it in the fourth quarter.
Oh man!
Congrats, Josh.
So
you win.
close.
You hate to see that, Kelly.
Throw your trophy.
That was a pro
bragging
jazz
rights.
move.
That's plenty.
Yep. Right on. All right. Camera 2.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully we got good answers on this one. I thought this one went really well.
I thought so.
All right, for PDQ.com, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Josh.
Thanks
And
for
I'm Glenn.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Daniel M. and Kevin S., winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you found this useful, we would ask that you would like and subscribe to our YouTube page. That always makes us smile. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time.